Well, I hate to say I told you so, but I like rubbing in people's faces when I'm right and they're wrong, when they taunted me saying that I was going to be wrong. So, you were wrong. What are we talking about today? We're talking about Trump's Afghanistan speech. Now, I don't know how many times I have to be right before people start listening to me, before people stop listening to the mainstream media and getting fooled by the two main political parties, especially the Republicans who fell for Trump's, oh, he's going to be different, he's going to take on the establishment, he's going to be different from the two Bushes, the two past Republican presidents. You know, he's going to do things different, he's going to make America great again, he's going to do all this and this and that. And I'm just like, well, you're listening to his stupid, retarded speeches where he can say anything he wants and make anything sound like anything and sound like he's going to do anything about anything. I look at his actions and his actual opinions on issues before judging him. So went back several months ago, you can look at my list of videos. I have my whole Robert's Rants and playlist you can look at. I told you that Donald Trump is going to be no different than the past Republican presidents, or not that much different than Obama, for example. All the differences that the media are blowing up out of proportion are just little anesthetics, just personal visual things that they do differently, or how they talk differently, or how they, you know, have a different type of mannerisms. You know, Trump's much more rash and like straight to the point. Like he doesn't give a shit about just being a complete asshole in front of people. While Obama, even though he's a horrible president, was a nice guy to talk to and to hang out with. Substance-wise, policy-wise, they are very different. So when I said several months ago that Trump is going to keep up huge spending, he's not going to balance the budget, the radical retards, whatever you want to call them, who believed in Trump that he was going to balance the budget. Nope, he's not going to do that because he's going to spend all his money in Afghanistan. He's going to pull out of Afghanistan because he called Afghanistan a huge waste of time several years ago. And then, wow, look. Now he's flip-flopping, and now he's going to send, according to reports, 3,900 more troops to Afghanistan. Well, why is he doing this if he thought it was a waste of time? Which it is a waste of time. I agree with him. I agree with Donald Trump several years ago that Afghanistan is a huge waste of time, and now he is contributing to the waste of time. Wow, why is he doing that? We'll get to that in a second. So, for people who didn't listen to me when I said he wants more war, more spending, more imperialistic policies, policies that get American personnel killed, that rack up the debts, he's not going to balance the budgets, he's going to continue the policies of Bush and Obama. I kept on saying that people didn't listen to me and they voted for that fucking retard anyway, and now they have to reap the benefits of what they sow. It's not like the US is a dictatorship. We don't get to choose who runs the country. We could choose a radical different course in 2 fucking seconds if people would just stop voting for fucking retards, but they don't. Ron Paul, once again, accurately delivers the critique of Trump's policy in his speech that he gave a couple days ago. I believe it was 2 days ago. Maybe it was 1 day ago. I don't even listen to the speech. I don't need to listen to the speech to know what it says because it's all bullshit. It is all full of pompous buzzwords, of words supposed to make you feel good, that cater to his base, but substance-wise, it is just empty, just like almost everything else he says. His speaking capabilities is that of like a 3rd grader. You know, it's just, I like America. It very good. I mean, I know it's a parody. I'm not saying he actually talks like that, but that's pretty close to how he talks. It's just, he has no substance whatsoever to his grand speeches that he delivers at his big rallies and everything. It just makes small-minded people feel good. Oh, he said these nice things. He's making America great again. Yeah, because he said these nice things. He said he's going to do these things. Oh, but look at his track record. Look at his actual policies, his opinion policies. Wow, they really suck. So there's a compilation of Ron Paul tweets. Ron Paul was wrecking the living hell out of Trump's speech live on Twitter. As usual, he wrecks anything that he wants to wreck because he's right on almost every single freaking thing on the face of the planet. Oh, but you guys didn't listen to him in 2012. You didn't elect him. You elected that stupid fucker Mitt Romney who lost to Obama, which is almost just like Mitt Romney. Oh, we're getting off topic. Let's go to his tweets. Ron Paul, the military personnel, the victims of bad foreign policy. I agree. Thousands of U.S. soldiers have died in Afghanistan, thousands around our various war on terror operations around the world. And hundreds more will die in Afghanistan because we're sending thousands more people, and we don't seem to be leaving anytime soon. So at least several hundred people will die. Several hundred U.S. soldiers will die in Afghanistan before whatever the end game is. They don't know the end game, which is another critique of Bush, Obama's, and Trump's policies, that they have no end game, which is why it's been running for 16 years. But yes, military personnel are the victims of bad foreign policy. They are dying to line the pockets of the 1%. They are not dying for what they signed up to die for, or to serve, like to serve the country, to protect our freedoms, to protect our nation, to protect U.S. citizens, whatever. They're not dying because of that. They were fed lies, and now they are dying and fighting to line the pockets of the 1%, to continue the oppression of millions of people across the world by being the muscle of the U.S. Foreign policy, which includes lots of military operations. All the thousands of U.S. soldiers that died in the war on terror have died for nothing. All these families have been wrecked. People's lives have been ruined. For what? For nothing. It is a huge waste of life and money. It is just tragic that this happens. Because each military personnel who dies, has family and friends. So each person has 30, 40, 100, 120, how many other people he knows are affected by his or her death. And that's just magnified because we have thousands and thousands of U.S. soldiers who died. And just, for what? For fucking what? Are we any more safe than we were 16 years ago? No. Is Afghanistan in any better condition than it was 16 years ago? No. Are any of our freedoms actually under attack by the major wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, to all the other lesser wars? Lesser 64 wars that we're in because of the war on terror and the war on drugs. Are our freedoms being threatened by any of these countries? No. Are they saving any of our freedoms? Saving any U.S. citizens' lives by doing all these things? No. They're the victims. They're being used by the politicians. I don't see why they don't see that they are being used. Some military personnel do see that. There are plenty of military personnel, U.S. veterans, whatever, who do not support the war on terror. It's not like the military automatically supports every single war that they get into. Some people know what's up, and they're like, no, I will not be used. I signed up to serve the Constitution and to serve America. This is not serving either. This is just serving the global imperialistic policy of the United States and serving the pockets of the 1%. I'm not going to do it. So that's why they get out of the military. They resign in protest. They resign whatever. Let's go on to more Ron Paul tweets. Said that these wars the politicians argue for are unconstitutional, yet we are told we are over there defending the Constitution. Again, the Constitution is under threat by the U.S. politicians at home. The U.S. Constitution is not under threat by random Taliban people in Afghanistan running around in caves and riding on donkeys. No, they are not the threats to the U.S. Constitution. The U.S. Constitution are two political parties, the U.S. establishment. They're taking away our rights every single day. Little by little, so we don't notice, and if we complain, they're saying you're just blowing it out of proportion, but little by little, they take away our rights and make this place just more insufferable to live in, because all the economic growth have gone 99%, sorry, gotta be specific, 99% of the economic gains since 2008 has gone to 1%, while the rest of the 99% of us have only seen 1% of economic gains. Mr. President, it's too bad you do not follow your instincts. Yes, because the Trump who's actually speaking his mind and actually speaking what he believes in several years ago when he said Afghanistan was a huge waste of time, he was actually correct. And now he bowed to the U.S. establishments what they wanted instead of what he wanted, and he is going to send over troops even though he doesn't think it's a good idea. So once again, Trump proves that he has no spine. He's like a bully. He talks tough in front of people who agree with him at his huge rallies, at his huge speeches, whatever. He talks tough, like he's all tough. He's going to take on the establishment. He's going to fix all these things. He's not going to do what the Republican establishment wants. He's going to do what he wants, what's better for the American people. And then he gets up to the test. This is one of the tests, and he completely fails it. He just has no spine and cowers because he's like a bully. Bully talks tough, acts tough. When actually threatened with someone who actually fight back, they cower and go along with it. That's what he is. He's a big bully. And the establishment cracked down on him and said, nope, you're going to do this even though it's wrong, even though you think it's wrong, even though lots of people believe it's wrong, how, objectively speaking, it's not serving our interests, but it's serving our interests, the 1%, so you can do it anyway. He's like, okay, fine. Wow, what a fucking pussy. Hilarious that people thought that Trump was going to drain the swamp when he lines his establishment with establishment Republicans and kicks out people who are not establishment, like Bannon, and then continues the policy of his predecessors, Bush and Obama, which he critiqued for so many years. Yeah, that sure is draining the swamp. The swamp still looks pretty icky and mucky and disgusting and just as pathetic as it was during Bush and Obama. And you're continuing this. Wow, what a fucking surprise. Like, I called it. I called it that he wouldn't drain the swamp. He is the swamp. So far, very discouraging. Sounds like pure neocon foreign policy. Yep, it is neocon. Exactly, just like Bush. The promoters of war win. The American people lose. Yes, we will lose. We will spend more money that we don't have on this war that doesn't serve our interests. Thousands of American soldiers will get wounded, hundreds more will die. Maybe thousands, depends how long we'll get there. Someone leave a link to Tucker Carlson's little talk he did, I think it was yesterday, with a person in the CIA that's been in Afghanistan for several years now, in and out, doing various things. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm actually in agreement with someone from Fox News and someone from the CIA. Like, I never thought the fucking day would come. This is how batshit crazy our political sphere is nowadays, that someone who rails against the CIA, like, I made a video calling Mike Pompeo bitch-ass nigga. Like, I hate the CIA. They are a horrible establishment. I hate Fox News. They are a horrible media establishment. But that doesn't mean that I'll automatically say they're wrong in every single thing just because I don't like them. The CIA director, the CIA person on Tucker Carlson's little segment was saying that this strategy won't work. That sending in thousands and thousands of American troops, we've tried that several times. Bush did a surge, Obama did a surge, now Trump is doing another surge, a little tiny little surge, don't get me wrong. 3,900 is not that many troops. But he was saying how out of the 3,900, only a small fraction of them will actually be in combat. The rest are in support roles. So really, this is not going to change the situation on the ground in Afghanistan at all. So it's just a whole complete waste of time. We've been trying for 16 years, keep on doing it and doing it. It doesn't work. The 1% in neocons know it doesn't work, but they don't care because it benefits them. How does it benefit them? Well, it allows them to continuously sign new military contracts. You know, you're not going to sign a lot of military contracts and military contractors if you don't have all these wars going on. So it's like, no, we want to buy more stuff. We want better weapons. We want to test these weapons. We want a battlefield where we can test these weapons. You know, if there's no wars going on, how are you going to test this? How are you going to have this bloated budget that the Pentagon has and that the military has? They have bases in Afghanistan that they can keep instead of withdrawn like they should, which can keep Iran in check. It is a part of the imperialistic policy. We have military bases surrounding Iran. In almost every single country. The UAE, Bahrain, we don't have Bahrain. Yeah, we do have naval base in Bahrain. So Bahrain, United Arab Emirates, Iraq, Afghanistan, Pakistan. You have all these bases surrounding Iran to keep them in place. Part of the imperialistic policy. It doesn't benefit us at all. It benefits 1%. Afghanistan has huge mineral resources that are worth trillions and trillions of dollars. Afghanistanians don't have technology to mine it, but we do. So that's why we're there, to protect that, to get the minerals for ourselves. Again, another imperialistic policy. And I'm already, like 14 minutes in this video, and I've only gone through a small fraction of Ron Paul's tweets, but you can just, I'll leave a link to this as well as the Tucker Carlson segment I talked about, where it's just like, I called it. I fucking called it. I called it that Trump would continue the policies that don't work. He would continue the establishment policies because he talks big, but at the end of the day, he is part of the 1% also. He is the part of the revolving door in big business and government that people constantly rail on. He is not the outsider. He is not the, what's it called? The maverick. You know, that's outside going to take on this crony little business of rotating of big business and government. He did exactly that. He's been in big business for decades. He's lined the pockets of politicians that put in policies that benefit his big business. And now he actually jumps into politics for real for 4 or 8 years. And then he's going to rotate back out and go back to his big business where he has lined up policies when he was president that help benefit his big business. You know, it's just, he's the epitome of the rotating door that people constantly complain about. I'll end with, what do they define as victory in Afghanistan? What is the end game? When can we say, you know, we're done, let's get the fuck home? The problem is that they cannot accurately define what victory is. Sometimes they say buzzwords or little phrases that sound good, like denying terrorist havens. Yeah, that's our goal in Afghanistan. Well, terrorists plan terrorist activities in terrorist havens. Since terrorist attacks can be planned in literally any room or any field or any cave around the world, it is, I can't believe I'm saying it, I can't believe you can't figure this out, it is impossible to deny terrorist havens because you can plan an attack anywhere. You can plan it in a room in a basement. You can plan it in a room in a hotel in Munich, for example, which I believe that's where most of the 9/11 terrorist plans were conceived, was not in Afghanistan, but I think in Munich, Germany, if I remember correctly, because lots of the 9/11 people were there. So are we going to invade Germany? Are we going to occupy Germany? Well, we already do a little bit. We have thousands of troops there from whatever fucking reason left over from the Cold War, but that's beside the point. Do you want to occupy every single room of every single building in the entire world? Because that's the only way you can deny a terrorist haven. The only way you can deny a terrorist haven is if you literally have cameras in every single room, like in 1984. Well, is that the road we want to go to? Well, it sounds like we already are. I know people are sick of that comparison to 1984. Like, it's so cliche to compare big government or whatever the government's doing you don't like compared to 1984. But I can't think of any other way that you could actually deny a terrorist haven for any terrorist, because a terrorist plan can be concocted in any room of any building around the world. The only way you can do that is if you have a camera in every single room and every single person in the world is being watched all the time. That's the only way you can do it. You cannot eliminate this. What you can do is mitigate it. Don't give people a reason to attack you. Don't have flawed foreign policy as blowback. Whatever. That's outside the scope of this video of how to minimize terrorism, or to stop it. Because that'll be another 20 minutes. But what is victory? We can defeat the Taliban on any single battle because we just pummel them with our Air Force and our long-range missiles and our tanks, which they have none of. But why are we losing still? Why can the Taliban still operate in the majority of the country? Why can they still strike in Kabul? I thought it was. Why can they still strike in Kabul? I'm looking at my globe, so I'm looking over here. Sorry, that's why he was like, why is he looking over there? Why can the Taliban still strike in the capital, Kabul, after they've been kicked out for 16 fucking years? They can still operate in the majority of the country. If we left, Taliban could easily defeat the Afghani government. So when is victory? What is victory? We've been trying it for 16 years. This is the longest war, and you guys can't do it because you're not being defined in your objectives of what is victory, and then you just keep on doing the same thing over and over again, whatever, la 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 la, and just wrecking the place, just making it a living fucking hellhole. It's not much better than it was 16 fucking years ago. And then the CIA person in the Tucker Carlson segment was like, some of the neocons, the big brass generals, want occupation of Afghanistan to be like South Korea, where we're just permanently there, tens of thousands of troops there for decades and decades. And it's just like, are you fucking kidding me? You want this to be like fucking forever? It's just like, we keep on doing this. We keep on putting thousands of troops and trillions of dollars permanently stationed in like Germany. Do you want to do it in Iraq also? You already done it in South Korea. Do you want to do it in Afghanistan also? It's just like, when will the madness end? I bet you if Iran had hundreds of military bases around the world, some that are sprawling with thousands of Revolutionary Guards, and they say, oh, it's to protect our interests, it's to protect our people, it's to protect the rights of our people. It's just like, who is buying this bullshit outside of the U.S.? You wonder why so many people around the world hate us? It's because we crush down on democratic movements, install dictators, and destabilize countries so people can't prosper, and their rights are being violated on a daily basis, and then all in the name of protecting ourselves, and everyone else is looking around just like you're being an imperialistic bully. And you have the gall to say, oh, it's defense. All of this is defensive. Oh, yeah, what a coincidence that your defensive military actions result in all of this mayhem and all this oppression, all this killing, all this wasting of money, all of this control all around the world. It's just like, who's buying this stuff? Oh yeah, the retards who voted for Trump. Well, I hate to tell, that was a great intro. I mean, imagine if Iran has hundreds of US, try again.